Hello and welcome to another Ask Nerida Joy video. I am here today answering some Q's and A's. I get asked a lot of my questions on my YouTube channel in my comments underneath, which I am so grateful for you asking questions there so that I can share the answers with everybody and that everybody gets to learn from this, and that's important for all of us. So this particular question, and I just want to point out that I have a lot of people asking me again on my in my comments to please help them with cleansing, and why are they breaking out here, and I just want to say that, you know, I'm going to be very specific about this because I get asked the same thing over and over again, and that is that you have to cleanse your skin really well. And by cleansing your skin really well, that means cleansing your skin at nighttime twice. Your first cleanse you are taking off with a warm wet washcloth. I do not believe in foaming cleansers for 95% of the population out there. If you are an oily skin, if you are an oily skin that has surface dryness, and most oily skins have surface dryness because they have been trying to dry out their oil topically with either very drying preparations that they may have got from their dermatologist or they may have picked up themselves. A lot of the products out there for oily skin are very, very surface drying, and that causes a problem for things underneath. So it is important that you understand an oily skin, oil comes from inside. You cannot dry it up topically with anything that you put on your face. There are specific products that will help with the oil, the pH and the oil production, but that is not the majority of the products out there. If you're using anything that has any of the acids in them, or benzoyl peroxide, or salicylic acid, often, you know, these work on a deeper level, especially your acids, because they work on stimulate your fibroblast cells. But a lot of the time, if you're using not the right ones, or you're using it in a form of a cleanser, it dries the outer layer and then the oil can't get out. So oil comes from inside. You cannot dry oil up just by using a foaming cleanser on your face. So I need you to understand this. So when you write and tell me that you're using this foaming cleanser that's got this in it, you're cleansing twice, but you're using this, it's not okay. You have to use a non-foaming cleanser if you have surface dryness, and that's just the way it is. If you are using a cleanser that is an oil base, you have to also be careful, because there are certain oils out there that, number one, are very high in the comedogenic line and that just don't work well on our skin. So coconut oil is another one. It is high in the listings for comedogenicity, so you cannot use that on an oily, combination oily skin, especially that's congested. So don't use coconut oil on your skin. You have to use either a non-foaming gel cleanser or a light milk cleanser, and that's what's going to help your skin. Keep your skin soft and supple. Keep that outer layer soft and supple. If it's dry, there's going to be a problem. You're going to get congestion underneath. Oil can't get out. That means your pores are going to get larger. And this is the types of things that happen. You'll have congestion underneath the skin. So these things happen. So it's really important that you understand that cleansing, don't write to me and say you're using a foaming cleanser unless you are in that 5% that has oily skin with no surface dryness. And maybe you live in another country, or maybe you live on the other side of this country. Then if you live in a humid climate, then you can use a foaming cleanser if you are a super oily skin. But even living in a climate that's more humid, still people get very surface dry. So try to stay away from foaming cleansers, period, because they are such a problem on the skin. The biggest problem I see is when people use foaming cleansers out of everything. So please do not use that. If you set up that slate in the beginning that is going to be irritated, there's no way you will be able to use retinols and AHAs on your skin later. So you want to make sure that you have a really gentle cleanser and that you're cleansing really well. So please, I hope you all hear this, because there are people out there that still email me saying they give me their whole regimen and their regimen is always that, you know, stating that they're using this foaming cleanser, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're not hearing what I'm saying to them. They might be using a washcloth and doing these other things, but they're still using a foaming cleanser, and that is a problem. And then they wonder why their skin is surface dry, or why they can't use retinol, and why they've got sensitivity and irritation. So please, please, a gentle cleanser is a priority. It is a necessity, and if you want your skin to function correctly and have smaller pores, for your skin to accept your products, for your oil to be able to get out when it needs to get out, then please, please, please use a non-foaming cleanser. And I hope that has answered your question here. I did want to point that one out in particular because it was concerning. And then the other part of the question here is that when you use a foaming cleanser, the other thing that it does is that in the morning it makes your skin feel tight and squeaky clean. Then come lunchtime, your skin gets all oily again. Because, you know, a lot of the time when I see people that use foaming cleansers, their skin is that shiny, oily skin that has this weird, feels like a fish actually, texture where it's shiny, it's a little bit stripped because they've done this foaming cleanser on their skin, or they've used something stripping on their skin, and it throws off the pH. So initially their skin feels quite, you know, dry, a little bit tight and clean and squeaky clean, sort of dry feeling. Come lunchtime, they're getting oily again, and they have this weird texture. So that's all product related, and you can change that by using the right product. So again, I hope this has answered your questions. I will be back to answer more questions for you, and thank you for constantly sending me questions, because this is important for us to learn and grow, and thank you, and I'll be back soon. Bye.